Alright.
Hang on.
Here we go, I got it.
There we go. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Recutalitrin. Sorry about that, guys.
This has been one heck of a thing. So, I had an impression this video would take more than one day, but it would just be for recording the whole thing. And because of her phone acting up,
now
we
we're
lost
just...
some of the files.
Yeah. So now we're retrying this again.
Yeah.
And please forgive us on this, guys. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna check off the list of what we've already done.
Okay, so we talked about the introduction and the concept of the creation.
And a bit of that, and oh man, I don't know where I got the idea from. I just came up with it one day, so.
It's just most of the times when writers make up something, they either decide what it is going to be about or they think about what it is. And as an example for what I would do is I do the same thing. I make up a type of beginning, and if I don't like it, I check with my proofreaders to see if they like it or not.
And the reason I picked you as the proofreader was because you were partially responsible for getting me in the fairy tale. So.
Yeah. But yeah. Chapter 1 was actually a really good experience whenever I read it. I actually kind of liked how the first part you did was actually introduce the kids.
Yeah, and I'll admit I did take a small cue from the first battle from the first episode. But relatively small. And then the meeting between the kids from the future and the present day fairy tale just kind of slowly came in, and
yeah,
the beginning part I actually posted as like a sneak preview because, well, it's been in progress for a while, so
yeah. The other thing was that whenever you actually introduced the characters, you guys just wanted to try and interact more. As an example as of what the characters were doing, we actually had, well, he had more of the characters coming into view, like the first battle that would actually introduce them as they go. And as an example, like how Luca's able to use his ability. That's for chapter 2, right? I don't remember. He's able to use his ice ability.
I misheard you. Yuza and Luca kind of sound a little similar.
Yeah. Anyways, but Luca uses his ice abilities. He's actually supposed to be the son of, and I'm seeing people randomly. Anyways, he's supposed to be the son of Juvia and Gray. But yeah.
And I'll admit, the opening for the second chapter where we first see some of his abilities was, I thought it was a little clumsy for some reason, but you liked it, so eh.
I mean, first time whenever you guys read something clumsy, you actually kind of see it as a start to recreate the chapter, but at the same time, you can actually see it as a funny moment in the whole anime.
Alright.
Honestly though, for half the chapters that we've done, what you've done, I actually like the fact that you wanted to add more into the chapters. For, as an example, you wanted to add a little bit more for chapters 1 and 2. You just wanted to make it a little simple yet familiar chapter.
Could you pause it for a second?
We're back. Anyways.
We're kind of running out of room on your camera, so.
Yeah. Anyways.
Chapter 3 was simple to do because the revelation came in and we learned a bit about the villain, and then...
Yeah, basically. Have we ever even thought about what the villain's name was going to be?
No.
No.
So there is going to be some footage that's different because camera recorded a different day, and yeah.
Yeah.
So chapter 3, we already discussed it a tiny bit before that cut, and it was simple to come up with. The parents interacting, or the time travel versions of the parents or kids interacting with their parents in the past. And you mentioned that in the original take you thought of the name Paradox for the villain, and
yeah,
really there's nothing better I could think of, so...
Yeah, we'll probably just be using Paradox for the villain's name, probably. It depends on if we find a different name after that.
Who knows? So, going into the 4th chapter where the battle occurred, I did decide to include a few other members of the guild, simply to show just not only the main heroes in the battle, just to have a few others there.
Mhm.
And then the enemy revealed to be a Kurin, I think that's how you say it.
Kieran, I believe is what you said.
It's part dragon, part horse, and funny thing is, when I was looking stuff up about it after the fact, it's actually something that brings good fortune.
And more likely, we don't want to add that as something that brings bad luck.
I'm just saying that. I find it ironic looking back on it.
It actually is ironic, depending on what kind of Kieran it is.
And then the battle goes on, and the heroes win, but as a result, the future versions of the kids all vanish because the circumstances that led to them being created no more.
Mhm.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So the future version of Wendy ends up going back in time and ends up erasing everybody's memories because, well, it's kind of because, well, negated future, and I'll admit there were points in some of the earlier chapters where Lucy and Natsu cracked jokes about time travel being confusing and not doing it. When Lucy time travels in a later arc, and small spoilers, Natsu and the other Dragon Slayers were sent 400 years into the future. The 7th day, 7th month, 7/7, and it's when they arrived in the future.
So we do want to warn you guys that is a small spoiler alert on our end, so please forgive us. And if you guys don't know about Fairy Tail, please start watching the anime. It's not that bad. So
Read the manga because same story.
it is. It's just that the manga shows a little bit more detail as to what's happening. Anyways. So,
Future Wendy's appearance was inspired from another character from a different franchise. I came up with that because Wendy in the manga kind of looks like that other character. I'm gonna show images on the screen, and so you'll see the comparison.
I think I remember you talking about who the character is, but
Yeah.
we'll let our viewers see a little later on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there was one thing, a review for the 4th chapter I kind of can't help but laugh at. Curse, part of a review a friend left, curse you, time traveling, your heartbreaking rules. I actually did try to make sure I looked into time travel stuff as best I could.
And there is some problems, as in with time travel, you can't really make up your own time travels unless you really want to pay the consequences of that. That's what he really means to say whenever the kids go back. And that comes in for the whole final chapter as to what happens for the characters.
Wendy's the only one who remembers, nobody else does. There was one line that was taken from the first theme because why not? And she buried a message and thought, hopefully in 7 years they'll be around again and be happy. And then the final chapter kind of segues into one event from a chapter of the volume before, Tenro Island, so that ended up just being an accidental byproduct of how I wanted the characters to be.
And depending on how this goes, there's a possibility that there will be a sequel. We don't know yet. It's up to you guys. Please leave a review.
I've already kind of confirmed that Fairy Tail 2, as I'm going to call it's in the works, but I'm doing it by myself.
Okay.
No offense to you, but...
None taken. It's alright.
Yeah.
So I'm close enough to you. Okay.
Overall, I had fun with doing this story, and we already mentioned there's a sequel, prequel, I don't know,
we don't know. It's up to you guys.
Because time travel and whatnot. Yeah, I had fun with the story, and I'm glad you got to be here with me for it.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad to be a part of it because this is actually the first time someone's actually wanted me to try and help out. Most of the times I do stories on my own, but at the same time I try to do stories with friends as well. And it's not that hard, but somewhat hard at the same time.
And one last thing to mention, it's been confirmed Fairy Tail will be ending soon with the 63rd volume of the manga, so there's that. So, Mishima, if you see this, which I doubt you will, thank you for creating such a great story and great characters and stuff.
And thanks for making the greatest plot ever in the anime. I actually loved it after watching it for a while and reading on places where I could actually find the manga, which is really awesome as well. I loved seeing what the twists and turns would be for the characters. So thank you for that.
So, yeah. And hopefully we'll get to go see Dragon's Cry when it comes out next month.
Yeah, I really want to see that.
Yeah.